welcome to the VET S.O.S. Veteran Entrepreneur Spotlight. Great way to start. Can't even say my own name here. Remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S. Lifeline. The Veteran Entrepreneurial Spotlight is proud to be affiliated with Neil Haley's show and sponsored by Spirit Point Solutions. Spirit Point Solutions is a one-stop shop for leading-edge products, services, and training from multiple vendors. From AI training to corporate gifts and much more, they have everything you need to help your organization thrive in the modern economy. So make sure you check out all their valuable offerings at spiritpointonline.com and remember to use the code VETSOS to continue to support our mission here and what we're trying to bring to you every day. Today, I'm sitting down with Dr. Anthony Randall, the founder and president of Vanguard XXI, a leadership development executive coaching company. He is an International Coaching Federation professional certified coach, proprietor of 3 ICF coaching courses, and has authored 3 books. He is a West Point graduate and retired Army Lieutenant Colonel, married for 27 years. Anthony and his wife have 3 children and live in Columbus, Georgia. How you doing today, Anthony?
Good, Shawn. Great to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
So excited to have you on here, and definitely looking forward to hearing more about your entrepreneurial journey and what you're doing there. Well, let's start with your transition out of the military. How did that go for you?
I think anyone who's transitioned out of the military may be able to agree that those 6 to 12 months were the hardest 12 months of my military career, and that includes, half a dozen combat deployments. Just a huge transition, and I did it during COVID. So I transitioned. I retired 4 years ago this month. So my 12-month transition was April of 20 to April of 21. So launching a business and trying to be a vetrepreneur coming out of COVID was it was a wild ride.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's everybody's is different, right? And when you go into a deployment, you all go through it together. But when it comes to transition, there's plenty of support, but ultimately you have to make the decisions, and it becomes a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah, absolutely does.
So that's fantastic. All right, so what led you to want to become an entrepreneur?
I think it started when I was 11. That's the first time I became a CEO. I had my own paper route. I was at the time was told I was the youngest paper boy in Denver, Colorado, throwing the Rocky Mountain News. And I'll never forget. It was July 4th, 1986. Delivering my paper route like I did every morning, and I was accosted by 4 teenagers in a Volkswagen Bug. They pulled up next to me. They began to threaten me that they were going to beat me up unless I gave them a newspaper. I should have known better. What do 4 teenagers need to do with a newspaper at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? I pulled my bike over, and the last thing I remember is a giant red cylinder coming out of the car window, and they doused me with a fire extinguisher head to toe.
Oh man.
That's not the explosive 4th of July I was looking forward to as a 12-year-old. But I tell you what, it was the first time that I realized as an entrepreneur that adversity is going to hit you in the face. And I biked home full of tears, covered in fire retardant. And my parents asked me one question: "Did you finish your route?" And I said, "No." And they said, "You've got a job to do." So I cleaned myself up and I went out and I finished my route that day. And I did the same thing for the next 2.5 years. And I think it was at that point that was a character defining moment. And it's a moment for any entrepreneur in the business world today or in the marketplace. Adversity is going to come at you. So how do you overcome it?
That's a great point. And, sorry to hear you had to go through that at 12. But kudos to your parents. I'm sure at first there was a little concern to make sure you're all right, but making sure you went and finished your job is
Just a
you know
little
it's
bit.
instill that in you. So that's fantastic. All right. So what's been well, I was going to ask, what's the worst and the best part of being an entrepreneur? I don't. You may have just told us the worst. I'm not sure, but do you have anything else in the worst? And then, of course, what is the best part about being an entrepreneur?
I think the worst part is just you can't control everything that you want to control. Just take a look at Q1 right now. For if you're a small business owner right now in Q1 25, as we go into Q2, it's been a rough quarter for anyone in small business. And so I think that's one of the hardest things, especially being military folks. We like to be able to control as much as we can control, right? We want to expand that loci of control. And so what I've had to learn is control what you can control. Some sports psychology things out there. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. And then you got to embrace the hardship. You have to embrace the suck sometimes. I think some of the greatest parts of being an entrepreneur is I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always loved running my own schedule, doing my own thing. I really enjoyed my time in special operations because, especially as a chaplain, my commanders trusted me, our troops trusted me, and I was able to just go and do what I wanted to do to be effective. So I think that's the greatest thing about being an entrepreneur is if you're willing to show up and play up and finish every day, then you can make it happen. And I think the other point, at least what I found with Vanguard 21, is we've got a great team. We have a team of 14 folks, and we have a lot of fun together through the good times and the bad. Um, and a handful of those folks that are on our team, I mean, I've known them for 30 years. A couple of them are my West Point classmates. We went to Ranger School together. We served together. We've seen as our vice president for business development always says, Mike, he goes, I've seen the best of Anthony and the worst of Anthony. So, and I've seen the best and worst of him. It's called U.S. Army Ranger School, right? So it's great. I think that's the two things I would say best to worst.
Okay. All right. So, have you used any developmental programs or anything to help you develop your business sense, how you're going to do things, and that could be military or non-military type programs?
Sure. I think the best entrepreneurs out there are veterans. I mean, we're taught how to show up early, get to work, get things done, and go home when it's done, right? We're taught how to build teams. So I think there's a lot of natural entrepreneurialism that veterans have at their fingertips. They just have to tap into that potential and find what they're really good at. So, planning and operations and, logistics and managing your time and your money and all of those things are important. I will give a shout out to Gino Wickman, who wrote the book Traction. And the book Traction is about talks about the entrepreneurial operating system. That's one thing that we found very effective. And as Gino Wickman talks about, that's typically really good for a company up to about 250 people, up to 100, $200 million in revenue a year. So as a small business owner, that's a seven-figure small business. We have found the entrepreneurial operating system very effective. It's how we run all of our weekly meetings, our quarterly meetings. And so that's been very helpful. The second thing that I found helpful, Shawn, is we've put together a board. And so I keep myself accountable to a board of advisors. And I give those board of advisors a semi-annual update. And they have, full access to our financials, our P&Ls, our balance sheets, and they're leaders that are in the different marketplaces and industries that I've known and trusted for 20 plus years, who kind of help us with business advice and financial advice and those kind of things.
That's fantastic. That having that board of advisors can really be a game changer, and um,
Yep.
that's just a fantastic approach, I think.
Yep.
Um, yeah, the book Traction. You are not the first to mention it on this show. It comes up a lot. So if you haven't read it yet, uh, here's another person telling you to go read that book if you want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, especially if you've never started a business before, or if you don't have an MBA, or one of those things. It's a fantastic book because just very quickly, not everything in the military translates over to the marketplace, and so I think one thing that EOS does, it helps us take our military language and put it into marketplace language. It helps us create a system that's helpful in the entrepreneurial space.
Absolutely. Fantastic. All right. So tell us about your company, Vanguard 21. What is this? What do you do? What services do you provide?
Yeah, so Vanguard 21, you can go to our website, vanguardxxi.com, and find out all about us. We are a full spectrum leadership development and executive coaching company. What I found over the years of developing leadership curriculum and character curriculum and ethics curriculum in the Army and in professional and college sports and in all these different spaces and places. I've got a friend of mine, a peer in the industry, Tim Teriyaki. He always says leadership development without coaching is just entertainment. And and if you've ever been in one of those training seminars before where someone comes in for 90 minutes or a half a day and they give you their pitch or their seven perspectives of this or their five principles of that, and then they leave, and 2 weeks later, your folks probably can't remember what they did or how they did it. Um, so we focus on integrating a holistic approach to leadership development and executive coaching. So, all of our leader development programs are based around three principles. Who are you as a person of trusted character? So, we look at identity, personality type, psychological profile, virtues, values, moral compass, all that. The second principle that we look at is how do you think? And so we look at how do you critically think, because I think in the marketplace today and in our world today, we're told what to think, and people have lost the skill set on how to think. So we teach people how to think critically and how to think morally and ethically. And then the third piece we implement all of our courses is how do you lead? And we specialize in EQ 360s and emotional intelligence. And so they folks also get the EQ 360 assessment, and they learn their different EQ leadership styles and how to implement that. Because I really believe that who you are shapes how you think, and who you are and how you think will shape how you lead. And so that's kind of the baseline for all of our complex leadership development programs that we have. And then through all of our programs, we pull this thread of coaching. So I had the privilege to spend 8 years with the Pittsburgh Pirates as a chaplain and leadership coach. And I really got to see high level coaches do high level coaching with high performing athletes. And also in the special operations space, this peer to peer accountability and ownership of sharpening each other. And so that's what got me into coaching about 10 years ago. Today I have 7 coaching certifications, and I pursued the International Coaching Federation, which is the gold standard for coaching. There's a whole lot of people out on LinkedIn and social that call themselves a coach, and the number one comment that we get when people come through our coaching courses after the first day is, "Yeah, I definitely haven't been coaching." We show them a whole new paradigm. Many times they think they're consulting, or they're mentoring, or consulting and mentoring, or counseling and consulting, or teaching, and they realize that professional coaching is in a whole separate quadrant. So, as an international coaching coach, federation coach, I'm an ICF PCC coach. I really enjoy coaching people. I enjoy watching people, draw potential out of people and see them grow. But I also love to build, and so we built an ICF coaching academy with Vanguard. And so not only do we offer corporate and leadership development and coaching, we also have a coaching school. And so we have 5 different ICF coaching courses. We have a 24-hour CCE coaching course that a lot of corporations and businesses love. It's a 2.5-day leader development and intro to coaching course. We have a leader as coach coaching course to help people speed up their coaching processes. We have a women in leadership course. We have a 4-part ethical leadership series on how to do ethical leadership. But our signature initial course is that 2.5-day transformational leadership course. And then we have 4 different ICF level 1, level 2, and level 3 courses. So if there's anyone out there that is looking to get into professional coaching and hang their hat, and they're looking for a professional coaching certification, we have a 61-hour and an 80-hour ICF level 1 course, which will help them get their ACC. We have a 65-hour level 2 course, which will help them get their PCC. And we're just finishing developing a level 3 course for those wanting to pursue their MCC. And we're doing that with one of our partners, one of our coaches, Kim Zovak, who's a world-class master certified coach.
Outstanding. You and I are going to have to talk. You're speaking my language now. I've always been really interested in the leadership side of things, and
Yeah.
the coaching certifications and everything is just fantastic. So that's wonderful.
We offer 4 courses a year. We got one coming up in May. We've got an
There you
NFL.
go.
We got an NFL coach, an AC-130 pilot, a cyber warfare person, a 30-year international business consultant, a special forces Green Beret guy. I mean, we've got all of our courses. That's the last thing I'll say, Shawn, is that our organization attracts high performance leaders. And so I think that's the secret sauce. People come to our courses, and the secret sauce to our courses are the people that are in person in our courses. We do not kill you by PowerPoint, and we don't put 70 people in an MS team room for 3 hours a day, 3 days a week for 22 weeks. We put you in a room together, and that's where the magic happens.
That's fantastic, and I think that makes all the difference in the world too. It's you know, it, I the people I work with the podcast here give me a lot of credit, but I can't do this alone.
Absolutely.
And the what we've built, people want to be a part of it, and it just you start to draw people like that in, and it's amazing. So love to hear that's how you're operating, and people are seeing what you're doing, and they want to be a part of it. Just speaks volumes. So, what's
Yep.
the best place the audience can connect with you and learn more about your business?
Yeah, if you want to connect with us and our amazing team, like I said, we got 14 folks that work with us. You can go to www.vanguardxxi.com. We love to help veterans start their own coaching businesses or leadership businesses. We love to support our students that have come through our courses. And then I also do quite a bit of keynote speaking, especially with the best-selling book, Practicing Excellence. So if you're looking for a keynote speaker for any of your events on that, please reach out. But www.vanguardxxi.com. You can also find us on LinkedIn and Instagram, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks, Shawn.
Outstanding. Well, thank you, Anthony, for joining us today on VET S.O.S. And on behalf of the entire VET S.O.S family, we want to thank everyone for joining us today. You can find VET S.O.S podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, and all social media platforms. And make sure that you subscribe and follow to VET S.O.S so you don't miss anything. And as always, remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S life.